May I request all of you to please put your hands together and extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Rajendra Kumar, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Indian Administrative Service, Principal Secretary, MSME, Department of Government. A round of applause as he joins us on stage, and to honor his presence and present him with a floral welcome, may I please request the kind presence of Mr. Rajiv Batra, Chief Information Officer, Benet Company Limited. A round of applause as Mr. Batra joins us on stage and acknowledges Sir's presence by presenting him with a floral welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request all of you to please put your hands together for our chief guest, Dr. Rajendra Kumar. Thank you so much, Mr. Batra, for your presence here. And may I request Dr. Rajendra Kumar to please address the audience. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, and very good afternoon to everyone, all the distinguished invitees, all the participants. First of all, my apologies for coming a little late to this session. I was tied up in another meeting in my office. The topic for this session is on cloud, the next big thing in government. But let me try to broaden the ambit of what I'm going to talk about, because as you may be aware, cloud is just part of the overall technology bouquet that is there for all the organizations to consider, including the government. And over the last several years, we have all witnessed a sea change, a kind of transformation in the way the government has been using technology to really transform the way we look at the government, the way the government departments deliver services, and the way we all have been interacting with various government agencies, etc. This transformation obviously has taken a lot of efforts. It has started many years ago, more than 2 decades ago. But over the last several years, under the broad umbrella of Digital India, it has definitely taken a much bigger, a much better shape. So let me talk about that overall technology spectrum that the government is currently using to really leapfrog in our endeavor to reach out to all citizens and to ensure that everyone can benefit from what government intends to do for the country. I'm sure you all must have heard about the vision of India's decade, which has been talked about by our Prime Minister on a number of occasions. This vision of India's decade is based on certain key components, certain key pillars, certain key areas, which I would briefly mention here so that we can all get a grasp of what the government is doing and how we hope to achieve this vision during this decade. India is already a global leader in IT and IT services, and over the years, this entire domain has attained a level of maturity where today we can see that we have moved away from the very early models where we used to provide resources, manpower, etc. to really the global companies and try to address their requirements. We have moved away from that model where now we talk about products in some domains. We talk about full spectrum IT services in other domains. And our IT sector, our firms have attained the global scale to really address much bigger and much more complex challenges which can be addressed through the use of IT. In government also, we have witnessed a similar transformation, be it the domain of providing quality IT or digital infra across the entire country, be it in the domain of government services, e-governance as we call it, or in domains like emerging technologies, cyber security, etc., where we have all seen a massive change taking place. When we talk about digital infra, we have all seen the expansion of network connectivity through fiber across the entire country, and hopefully in the next few years, we would achieve the dream of connecting all our 600,000 villages through reliable fiber connectivity. And that's a huge achievement that we are all aiming at. We already have covered more than half of this target, and we hope that we can really achieve the remaining in a short number of years to come. We also have the upcoming 5G availability, which will again transform the way we all use IT, the way our industry uses IT, and the way citizens perceive IT. Many services which hitherto were not possible because of lack of high speed and quality connectivity, they would become possible with the availability of 5G across the entire country. And new domains which we never thought possible, for example, very complex remote health services, surgeries, applications that depend on edge devices for connectivity, IoT, etc. All these will become a reality with the availability of 5G and with consequent benefits in terms of increasing productivity, in terms of increasing our competitiveness on the industrial front at the international level. We also hope to really transform our digital government scenario. At present, as you may be aware, most of the government departments, they have applications which provide services through digital platform, through online platforms. But one key issue that we are facing is that they're all working mostly in silos. They rarely talk to each other. They rarely provide services which are integrated or combined across multiple domains. To address this issue, in the last few years, we have worked on a new concept called public digital platforms, where the idea is to really build large cross-cutting platforms which can address the requirements of multiple domains with one single platform. Examples of this are our world-class digital payment platform, the world-class digital ID platform, and sectoral platforms like GST network or government e-marketplace, which serve the needs of a large number of, or the entire government with one single large platform. And we can really be proud of what we have achieved. Platforms like digital ID platform of Aadhaar, digital payments, there is nothing like this anywhere else in the world. When we talk about these platforms, today India is the world leader in creating such massive population scale platforms which have transformed the way the entire government works, not just one department's activities. And this has really brought a lot of recognition to the Indian IT and to the efforts of the Government of India through this whole of government approach, where our vision is to involve the entire government, not just one or two or three or four departments. Today we talk about whole of government approach, where the goal is to build efficient, large-scale platforms which can serve the needs of the entire government. So this is a sea change that has happened in the last few years under the Digital India program, where we are seeing now the results really becoming visible in a number of areas. We also are launching platforms in various domains like health. We have launched the National Digital Health Mission, the Aabha accounts that you might have known. Today you can create a unique digital health account or a digital health ID for yourself, which in the time to come will serve as this single point of single contact or whatever, single access point for all the health services across both government and the private sector. And the National Digital Health Mission is trying to bring all the healthcare stakeholders onto this unified digital interface, where the goal is to make the provision of healthcare services seamless to all the citizens. And already results are visible. The platforms that we have built, for example, the COVID platform, the vaccine platform, there is nothing like this anywhere else in the world. And right from day one, when we started the vaccination campaign, we were providing fully digital online vaccine certificates to everyone who was getting vaccinated. And these are not available at that point of time in any country of the world. So you can see the massive amounts of efforts that have gone into it. And today, more than 2 billion vaccines have been delivered, administered, and they all are on this digital platform, completely verifiable, completely online. Today, when you travel abroad, you can say with pride that my vaccine certificate is in this QR code. I don't need to carry a physical document or a printout. And that is acceptable all over the world. So that's the change that we have seen through this entire approach focused on whole of government and ensuring that all government departments, both central departments and the states, can benefit from this national public digital platforms. The third area where we have seen massive change coming in the last several years is in the domain of emerging technologies. We have prepared strategies for all the major areas which are witnessing a massive transformation, be it artificial intelligence or machine learning or blockchain technologies or additive manufacturing. In all these domains, MeitY, that is my current ministry, is leading the national efforts to ensure that we can become the global leaders in terms of both R&D and in terms of developing applications for various domains. If you see the international rankings in these areas, I don't need to repeat, but these actually have seen a massive jump in where we stand today globally in terms of our capabilities in these emerging areas. And this entire transformation, it is going to only increase in the years to come as we pass through this India's decade in terms of our technological maturity. Another area where we have seen change coming in a very big way is in the domain of cybersecurity. Last year, India was ranked number 10 in the world out of 190 plus countries in the global cybersecurity index. For the first time, perhaps in any international ranking by the UN, India is in top 10. And this is again a result of the efforts that MeitY has taken, that the government has taken to really ensure that our cyberspace is safe from all aspects. As a result of the pandemic, during the pandemic, we have seen massive spikes in the attempts being made to breach our cyberspace, to cause attacks on government platforms, even on the private applications. But so far, our efforts have really been successful in ensuring that we are not only able to meet the challenges reactively, but also as a proactive measure. Now we are really going out and ensuring that all the stakeholders, be it in the government or in the industry, they take proactive steps to secure their applications and secure their cyberspace. Massive efforts have been taken to really ensure that we do the capacity building, both within the government and in the industry, and ensure that they all are trained and they understand the importance of cybersecurity. One more area where we have really been trying to ensure that we are up to the best internationally is in the domain of IT policies and IT sector laws and acts. We have the IT Act, which is of 2000 vintage, and this is now undergoing a process of amendments. We hope that we can come out with a comprehensive set of amendments or a new framework within a short time. We also are working on a personal data protection framework, which you all might be aware. So our effort is to ensure that in terms of providing a proper legal framework to the entire IT sector and to ensure that digitization can happen proactively in effective manner, we would like to bring this new set of IT domain laws in the coming time, where we think that India can really become even more competitive in terms of developing its IT sector. One more area where we have made massive efforts to really bring our IT industry on par with the world's best is in terms of skilling and capacity building. We wish to make India the talent capital of the world in the next 4 to 5 years. This also is in consonance with our $1 trillion digital economy vision, which we wish to achieve in the next 4 to 5 years by 26-27, where the goal is to take our digital economy from the current level of about $300 billion, US billion dollars, to the level of at least $1 trillion by 2026. And this transformation, which requires 3 to 4x increase in our total size of digital economy, that really cannot happen unless we bring all the stakeholders on board and unless we work with everyone, all the industry partners, our academic and R&D institutions, our startup ecosystem, our entrepreneurs. They all need to come together to really ensure that this vision of India's decade and the $1 trillion digital economy can be achieved in the next 4 to 5 years. We have great hopes on our world-class startup ecosystem. We have seen more than 100 unicorns emerging in the tech-focused areas and tech-driven areas in the last 2 to 3 years. And we really think that this momentum is going to continue in the years to come, because the levels of digital adoption which have increased post-pandemic, the new normal of this much higher levels of adoption is going to continue, and this should really give rise to many new opportunities within India for the startups and for all of us, both within the government, in the industry, in academia, in the research community. And it is up to us to really take advantage of these opportunities and ensure that India can leapfrog in the digital domain. In fact, today if you see, India is the world's fastest growing economy. It was the world's fastest growing economy last year in 2021. This year, we are the fastest growing economy. And almost certainly for both 2023 and 2024, we would be the fastest growing economy. And a large part of this newfound capacity of our nation to grow against even adverse circumstances of impacts of COVID, etc., it is coming because of our rapidly maturing digital ecosystem. The economic growth that we are witnessing today, in a large part, digital domain is one of the key drivers. And we really wish that we can continue this momentum in the years to come. And in this entire effort, we would really welcome any suggestions, any collaboration, any partnership with the stakeholders. We all have worked very hard in MeitY, in other ministries, to really make this dream of digital transformation a reality over the last several years, and especially under the Digital India program. And I'm sure if this momentum continues, which we all are sure that it will, with support of all the stakeholders, during this decade itself, which our Prime Minister has dubbed as India's decade, we would become one of the foremost leaders in the world in digital domain. So let me conclude at this point of time by saying that just as we see a sea change in digital transformation, we would really like to take up this journey of digital-driven growth in this decade with the support of every one of you, with the partnership that we would like to forge with everyone. So thank you very much for calling me to this event, and I would really like to wish all the very best for rest of the deliberations today. Thank you very much.